Rovers have made the perfect start to 2021 in Sky Bet League One after victories over both Swindon Town and Rochdale in recent weeks. The next test sees relegation-threatened AFC Wimbledon travel to the Keepmoat Stadium, a team who Darren Moore's side had to rely on James Coppinger to secure a point against back in November. It's Rovers against AFC Wimbledon from 7 p.m. Good evening and welcome back to the Keepmoat Stadium, and thank you for joining us for our pre-match build-up to the game against AFC Wimbledon in Sky Bet League One. Joining me tonight, Doncaster Rovers reporter for the Free Press, Liam Hoden, and Rovers supporter liaison officer, Dean Medcalf. Liam, we'll look back on that West Ham United defeat just briefly. Obviously a disappointing one in terms of the result, but Rovers gave it everything they got. They just weren't quite good enough on the day.
I think sometimes that you just come up against an opposition that are far too good for you, and there's no shame in that when they're an opposition side from two divisions above and one that's having a fantastic season as well. Rovers made some mistakes, there's no doubt about it, but when you make mistakes against an opposition of that quality, they are going to punish you, and West Ham just did that.
I think the players after the game said that if you're going to beat a Premier League team, you need them to have an off day and you to play out of your skin, and neither of those two things happened, did they?
Not at all. West Ham looked very, very comfortable, looked confident, players looking to prove a point and trying desperately to do that. And, of course, conceding after 90 seconds, when you are the team that's going to come in and going to look to be resolute because you're going to come under so much pressure, it's never going to be easy from you from that point.
Disappointing, as we say, but is it a good thing now that we can focus solely on the league, given the position we're in the table?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to go through, wouldn't it? You know, to reach the fifth round and get that dream away tie to either Liverpool or Man United, it would have been fantastic. But, you know, the main priority is the league. I'm sure Darren will agree with that. And, you know, you just got to go again and hope for the best.
Given the sort of amount of fixtures we've got to come in the second half of this season, Liam, can it be seen as a bit of a blessing in disguise, you feel, that not many more distractions in terms of cup competitions? Now you know what the aim is between now and the end of the season.
Looking when that game would have been in the fifth round, it's that away trip to Fleetwood that's already been called off once, and you're just pushing that later into the season, further congesting everything. So yeah, it could be a blessing in disguise, definitely. It would have been something else to think about, and as I say, pushing things even further and further back.
And a big opportunity. Rovers, despite not playing much in the league in recent weeks, they're still right in there in the mix in the playoffs.
That's been the fantastic thing ever since that game were called off on Boxing Day and that run after that, and as you say, not playing much in the league, that they've not really dropped down the table. That's been a real positive for Rovers. Still in a fantastic position and a real chance to kick on now.
Dean, have you found yourself watching other results, particularly on Saturday when we were in cup action, and just seeing how all the other promotion contenders are getting on?
Funnily enough, I didn't join the game. I did look afterwards. To be fair, I looked straight for the Wimbledon result and then the Lincoln result. You know, next two games, two big games, both teams at opposite ends of the table. They're not going to be easy games, but yeah, they were ones that, you know, we had to keep an eye on, and fingers crossed for tonight.
How important is it that there's not going to be a hangover from that West Ham United defeat? Get it out of the system and just get on with things as quickly as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I think the players will be, you know, although they weren't expected to win, they'll be still disappointed that, you know, it didn't happen. So, you know, we've just got to hope that they come here and take it out on Wimbledon tonight.
Of course, the reverse fixture against Wimbledon, a 2-2 draw where the Cop scored in the last minute, but it was a game where, sort of the end of a run where Rovers had struggled to break teams down that sat back against them. In that game, they actually played really well, particularly in the second half. Yeah,
they snatched a very late equaliser, but they really should have been coming away with a victory, really. Played really well. Started to break them down, and I think they've gone from strength to strength in that side of the game since.
Of course, it is just a week since Rovers' last league game here against Rochdale, and here are the best bits from that one. So 1-0 victory against Rochdale last time out in the league. Then, Dean, was it pleasing to see Rovers win a game like that, where it was a little bit scrappy, not the most entertaining on the eye, but all in all, a good 3 points?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I've seen us play Rochdale many a times over the last couple of seasons. They've always been a tough side to break down, aren't they? You know, it's not been easy. We've had a few late equalisers against them and against us. So it was a game where I know they're low down in the table, but you know, I was a bit sceptical over that, what was going to happen, and it was good to come away with the 3 points.
Of course, they'd scored and conceded a lot of goals in the 3 games prior to coming here. So was the clean sheet the most pleasing factor, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Was it 4-4 in one of the games, 3-3 in another? You know, I know many people on Twitter have said it had 0-0 written all over it. But yeah, to see that they have been scoring goals and for us to keep that clean sheet, you know, it was good. You know, we need that clean sheet. We've not had too many of them recently, so it was nice to get that clean sheet, definitely.
One of the main things to look at, Liam, the goalkeeper in particular for Rochdale in the first half was taking an age, collecting the ball just outside his area and not really in any rush to get on with things, but that quickly sped up once John Taylor had put Rovers in front.
Yeah, always going to happen. I think the thing is teams come here and they know that they don't want to get the ball back into play too quickly because they know how intent Rovers are to get forward, even after they've gone in front. So yeah, you can understand a bit of game management from the opposition at times.
What did you make to the goal? Obviously, Matt Smith with a lovely diagonal over the top. Brad, as we know, loves to get forward down that right-hand side. It was a good team goal, wasn't it?
Really, really good. Fantastic ball, as you said, from Matt Smith, but a fantastic run from Brad as well, and gets that header down, puts it in an area that's always going to be a danger, and John Taylor pops up and puts it in the back of the net.
One of the big things to take away from it as well, AJ Greaves' full league debut, 90 minutes, looked really good in the middle of midfield, didn't he?
So confident, and then speaking to him afterwards, you can see where that confidence
sure of himself, isn't he?
Very sure of himself. But he's matured so much. I saw a lot of him for the under-23s, and he bombed about a lot, and there were times when you were a little bit nervous about him when he's going in for a tackle, but he's so mature without taking that edge off his game in terms of that intent and that desire to get into opposition players' faces, and then spark things going the other way as well.
Dean, that's what fans love to see though, isn't it? Someone come through the youth system and not be afraid to stick a foot in, get about people and not take a backward step.
Yeah, definitely. I think every club love it when when a kid comes through the youth system and breaks into the first team. And it was great to see, you know, like Liam said, he looked assured in that centre midfield role. You know, he looked like he'd been playing there all season. And I thought he had a fantastic game, and his little cameo he had at Swindon as well. I thought both appearances he did really well.
We've touched on the defeat to West Ham at the weekend. After the FA Cup loss at the London Stadium, Darren Moore says he's happy to focus on the league campaign from here on in.
Whether it's a cup match or a league game, a loss is a loss, and I don't think you look at it. You just look at it as we lost the game, so it's important that we get back to it. Even though yes, it was a cup match and official cup match and that, but we just got to continue doing what we've been doing. The loss is hard. You don't want to lose games, but then we've got another one to quickly turn around and get back to it on Tuesday night. It's going to be a difficult game. We know Wimbledon are difficult opponents. They know a lot about us. We know a lot about them. So it's going to be a difficult game. But again, Adam, it's another hurdle again for Doncaster Rovers that we look forward to for it tomorrow night. And we know that we're going to be at our best to really come through again with another positive result.
I mean, you've won a lot of games this season. Was the 2-2 draw at AFC Wimbledon one that got away?
Yeah, at the time we thought the balance of it. I mean, there was a lot riding on the game in terms of the new stadium being open and everything else. So there was a lot of media attention around the game. But I thought at the time it wasn't so much 2 that got away, because I thought on the time we wasn't at our best on the night, and certainly scoring the goal as late as what we did almost felt like a 0.1 as opposed to 2 that got away really. So again, we know the difficult game that it's going to be, and we know that we're going to have to be a lot more better tomorrow night than we showed down there. Go with that mindset with every game, whether you're playing a team that's bottom of the form guide or a team that's at the top of the form guide. We have a professional approach, Adam. I keep saying we've approached the same for every single game, and we've approached the same preparation for the Wimbledon game. So For me, it's the next game. So looking at form guides and everything else, it's not that. There's a game to contest and play, and we need to be at our very, very best in order to win the game, and that's what we'll try and seek to do tomorrow evening.
We mentioned how meticulous Darren Moore is, looking at each game at a time. Do you think he'll enjoy only having the league to focus on from here on in?
I think it will. He'll have a clear path in his mind through these next few games, and no surprises thrown in there among it all. So yeah, I think this is going to be a time for real focus, and on that one.
Have you been impressed, Dean, by how Rovers have dealt with different oppositions in the last few weeks and months? But probably, as we mentioned earlier, since that Wimbledon away game, we've faced teams at the top of the league, at the bottom. Although we've lost a game here and there, for the majority of it, they've been really consistent performances.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see that the squad can adapt to playing different opposition. We talked about the teams at the top of the table where we've had to sometimes sit back and keep grinding at them till we got that ball and then push forward, or teams at the bottom where, like the Rochdale game, where they sat back and put sometimes 10 men behind the ball and we had to try and break them down. And it was great to see in both situations that the players could adapt, get the ball and get the wins as well. With
Lincoln coming up at the weekend and that what that represents as a sort of top of the table clash, how important is it that Rovers keep that league momentum going heading into that one?
It's really important. I think you can see the confidence that's come from it, and what's been particularly impressive that it's come after that break, that enforced break over the Christmas period as well. They're just growing in confidence, and what's really impressed me as well is the defensive solidity that they've shown. They've had to show it in periods in games. That show it obviously a lot at Blackburn in that cup tie, and that's obviously going to be important going to Lincoln, as we saw when the two teams met here. A very sort of narrow win for Rovers on that occasion, but that confidence in that side of the game has really, really grown in recent weeks.
Of course, it hasn't all been plain sailing in recent weeks in terms of injuries. Darren Moore's been doing it tough, hasn't he? We've seen AJ making his full league debut. Of course, Tyrese dropping out through injury and suspension to Reece James for last week's game. And have you been impressed or proud, I suppose, as a fan, to see that every single player sticking their hand up and willing to put themselves forward?
Yeah, and I think we've seen that with the different positions everyone's played. I think there's only goalkeeper that Reece James hasn't played this season so far. So it is great to see that the players can adapt and they're happy to play whatever position Darren wants them to play. And they're all playing well still.
Of course, Darren Moore been busy in the transfer market leading up to this game tonight. John Bostock has become Rovers' third recruit of the window so far. And here's what he had to say on joining Rovers.
Absolutely delighted. It's been... to be honest, it's been a challenging 4 months in terms of being out the game and just waiting, remaining patient for the right club, the right project, the right platform to come my way. So I'm absolutely delighted to finally put pen to paper and be part of Doncaster Rovers. Really, really over the moon.
So why was Doncaster Rovers the right club, and why was this the right time for you to make this move?
I think there's so many factors, to be honest with you. As a footballer, you kind of always want to just pursue your career, pursue moves, pursue transfers, and just kind of always build. But obviously now I'm a dad, family commitments and stuff. It was, I agreed to terminate my contract in Toulouse in France because of family reasons. So our goal was to come back to the UK and be based here. And so, there were talks with other clubs and stuff, but as soon as I spoke to Darren, it was I think it was October we started to talk, and just hearing his way he sees football, the way he, just his whole ethos, winning mentality, his whole desire to get the team playing a certain way, I was just taken back, to be honest with you. And unfortunately we couldn't do the deal at the time, but he said, look, come January, hopefully we'll be able to revisit it. And so come January 1st, there was contact and we started to get the ball rolling, but in terms of just the club, the way the team want to play, just the whole feeling behind the club, and just the ambition of the club as well. I'm just excited to be part of it, so it was a no-brainer for me.
And I know you've been around the place for sort of maybe a week or so now. What have you made to the lads that are here, the personalities?
Really good, really good. The boys welcome me really well. I think they've been a bit like, you're here, but are you signing? Like they've been a bit kind of waiting for the announcement, but today when it was all wrapped up, they congratulated me, and a lot of fist pumps going around. So the boys have been great. You can see why the team is where it is. The gaffer made it very clear that character is really important to him, and you can see not just the players, but the staff, the cooks, like everyone's been fantastic. So I do feel right at home.
You mentioned obviously leaving Toulouse a few months back. Where do you feel you are in terms of fitness in getting up to speed as well? And when can Rovers fans sort of expect to see you maybe in and around it?
I've been grinding. I can't lie. I've been really, really working hard. So I've been working really hard. I've been fit. I've been working on my fitness. And so I think that the club were pleasantly surprised when I came back in and did the fitness tests and stuff. So I feel good. Obviously, you can't replicate possession, match, match work, but I put myself in a good position to be ready soon. So I don't know when, but hopefully sooner rather than later.
So Bostock in then, gents. Dean, as a big Rovers fan, what do you make to his arrival?
Yeah, he's an experienced player. He's played at a higher level. I think he's played in the Premiership and the Championship. So I think it's a very good signing. He's going to add a bit of physicality in that midfield that sometimes you need, especially against them teams who are going to try and hit you, like them at the top of the table, like Lincoln will on Saturday. So I think it's a very good signing. He's
not what you'd see as a typical Darren Moore signing in terms of age, Liam. As we know, he likes to bring younger players in, develop them into more rounded people and professionals. But what do you feel that Bostock will add to Rovers midfield?
It's going to add a tremendous amount of technical ability and quality on the ball. He's always had that. That's what's made him stand out as a young teenager when they were one of the hottest prospects in the country at that time, at Crystal Palace, and then going on to Tottenham as well. It seems like a player that will have no problems fitting into this system and this way of playing, and the player as well that's got a point to prove and that will want to continue developing and really bring out that side of his game and show that he's still got so much to offer. And Darren Moore has shown that he's capable of bringing that out of players, particularly more on the young side of things, but I don't think he'll have any problem bringing the best out of John Bostock.
He's not had the career in England that he might have hoped for, but when you look at his record abroad, particularly in Belgium, a couple of years over there, goals and assists were flowing, and he really made a name for himself over there.
It's probably perhaps taking the pressure off a little bit, because so much to be so young and have that much attention on you, and I think that hung over him for a long time, it seems, as a player. But to go kind of out of the way of things and go over there and really develop, as we've seen young players go out on loan and do that, I think that's probably been really good for him.
Of course, Darren's been busy. That's his third signing of the window so far, and he's made no sort of secret of the fact that he is looking to get bodies in and complement what he's already got for a busy second half of the campaign.
Yeah, it's necessary. You can see with how they've been depleted, and what's been stark has been the fact that you're never too far away from an injury, given how much is being demanded of players at the minute. So you need as many numbers as you can get, and hopefully that'll get those in over the next few days.
Elliot Simosh, one of them who has come in and settled in well since joining Rovers earlier in the month from local rivals Barnsley, and he says it's been good to get some minutes under his belt in recent weeks.
That's what I'm here for. I need to kind of prove myself that I can be there, prove the club, and that's why I'm here at Doncaster. And obviously, one of the big things I want is to help Doncaster to go in the Championship. It's a good experience. When you're there, you do see that there's levels. As you know, they're a very good team. We just tried our best. We tried our best, but I think they were just sharp, really. We done a good run in the cup. But now it's gone now, for us it's gone. Our head is just focused on the league, keep going with the run. We've been doing well, really. We've been going in a really good run in the league, and that's what I'm hoping for, to just keep going. As you've seen, AJ steps into the game, young midfielder, and he done well for himself. He kind of shows that, the Doncaster team, the whole team, has got a lot of quality. The whole team, no matter what it is, starting or bench, we've got a lot of quality, and we've proved that we can play well, really. Just kind of have to bounce back from a 4-0 loss, but we also know it was a really good team. But we know we just have to come back to that, that mentality, and we just have to show them that we can bounce back, and that we're really focused on the league right now. and that we all we care about really is just 3 points, just a win.
So Elliot settled in well and played a few games, Dean. I think Saturday was the first time he's not been involved from the start. What have you made to him so far?
Yeah, he looks a good little player. You know, he's got a few tricks in his bag as well. He likes to go at his man and he likes to get past him. And I think from what we've seen of him so far, he's looked pretty good.
Of course, lively on the wing, not got a goal under his belt yet, but particularly against Swindon, I thought first half he really got about his man. Yeah,
definitely. That's what he's all about. Speaking to him yesterday, he's desperate to add some goals to his game and get those opportunities in front of goal. Very, very confident on the ball, as Dean said. A trick in his game as well, and hopefully we'll see more and more of him being that threat as the weeks go by.
Hasn't quite happened for him at Barnsley just yet, but all the reviews you said, obviously we asked the people from Radio Sheffield who will have seen him play, and all the reviews were fairly good, weren't they?
Yeah, I think a change in managers perhaps set him back a little bit. That's Barnsley making that change sort of in the early part of the season. He were doing really well under the previous manager Gerhard Struber, and he's just had that setback. He's had to drop down into the under 23s again, but I think that's good for Rovers because he's desperate. He's got a point to prove and really kickstart his career from here.
Dean, were you pleased to see Rovers act so quickly to get Simosh in, particularly after Rayan Tulloch, it was made clear that he wouldn't be returning to the club?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we didn't see much of Rayan, unfortunately. You know, from what I did see of him, he looked like a decent player. But yeah, when we found out that he wasn't coming back, I think Darren acted quickly to get Elliot, and it seems like a good signing so far. Like you said, you know, he's still working on getting them goals. I think he came close against Rochdale, so hopefully he'll get one here tonight.
And on tonight then, how do you see that playing out?
Again, it's going to be another tough game. I think every time you play Wimbledon, it seems to be a tough game. They're another team at the bottom of the table who are fighting for them points to stay in the league. So it's not going to be an easy game. They're going to come here, they're going to sit back. I think, again, we're going to see, 10, 11 men behind the ball. And I just hope Rovers can break him down. And with Elliot in there with his bag of tricks, hopefully he can get in the box and snatch a little goal.
Any score predictions?
I'm going to go 2-0 Rovers.
And Liam, how do you see it going? We've seen what Wimbledon have to offer. Of course, haven't won in a fair few games in Sky Bet League One, but they're going to make it difficult.
They will make it difficult. You'd like to think that Rovers have learned from that game down there. You kind of know what they're all about. It is going to be about breaking them down and being patient and using the ball well. But I fancy Rovers to do that. On a lot of confidence at the minute. I think I'd probably go 2-0 myself.
Liam, Dean, thank you for your company. Thank you at home for watching as well. Head over to iFollow Rovers now, live, full and exclusive match commentary as Rovers take on AFC Wimbledon from 7 p.m.